All right, welcome everybody to another trading education session. Today we're going to talk about essential patterns that you should know as a day trader and an options trader. All right, let's get into it. All right, so first of all, let's talk about the bullish flag. So this is a consolidation pattern that occurs after a strong upward price movement. So we usually have a buy up, and then it looks like a small rectangular flag. Okay, and we'll show a picture on the next slide, but how you want to trade this is you enter the trade when price breaks to the upside, like when it breaks out, right? So it's a chart showing the bullish flag pattern. Let's see the next picture. All right, yeah, this is a perfect bullish flag pattern as you see here. We have the impulsive buy up, strong buy up, and then you see it looks like a flag. So we get straight up and we flag down. So that flag is like a corrective wave. We shot up, back down, and what happens when we break above that top line, which is our flag, we shoot up to the upside. So when we are talking about, I'll take a minute before the next one. When we're talking about these patterns, essentially all we're talking about is support and resistance levels, but just in patterns form. So as you see here, we have support and resistance, and when we break above support and resistance, we have essentially what we have just with normal support and resistance, except we're using it to identify by patterns. All right, now let's go to the next one.
With the bearish flag, it's similar to the bullish flag, but in the opposite direction. Usually it happens with the sharp downward price movement, and how we would trade that would be we would enter a trade when the price breaks downward, and I'm going to show you guys how it looks like. So the bearish flag is basically the same thing as the bullish flag, except opposite. We see a downwards movement here, a sell-off. Then we see kind of like, for example, right here, the flag going upwards, and then another strong sell-off. With these, best time to hop in is usually after a minute when we see that it might break through the support line, because unlike the bullish flag, we don't want it to wait for it to break resistance. We want to wait for it to break the support line. All right. So next we got the head and shoulders. Head and shoulders is a reversal pattern indicating a trend change. So like usually it'll be three peaks, a higher peak, and right by it are two lower peaks. And how we would trade that is we would sell when the price breaks below the neckline right after the right shoulder. I'm about to show you guys right here. So like, for example, here we see the first shoulder. When we go upwards, downwards, we see the second shoulder creating the head, and then the third shoulder creating the right shoulder. After this right shoulder, we're usually expecting a downwards movement, because it's kind of like it tests three times, and it, when we would get in is after both this one and this one. After the first two points, and the third one, we'd get in and then just watch it drop.
All right, bet. Next one we have inverse head and shoulders. Is exactly what it sounds like. It's just the opposite of what Emmanuel just explained. It's just head and shoulders, but flipped over. So just think about head and shoulders, except on the bottom. So yeah, like it says, opposite, just bullish to bearish. And then yeah, here we have a picture to describe it. Same thing essentially. We just have lower lows instead of higher highs. So yeah, you see that shoulder on the first part there. And then we sweep low to get that head, and then another shoulder. So just when you're looking at this and how to identify these, just be looking all the time to look for nice and strong, because if you're able to identify these quick, you can catch those breaks. So right when you see it on that farthest right shoulder, right when it broke, we broke up to the upside, as opposite as it would be to a normal head and shoulders where you're breaking to the downside. All right, let's see what's next. Next, we got a double top. So we talk about this a lot in Lux when we trade. It's a very simple thing. If you understand resistance or support, we're just talking about a double top where prices made a double top, as it sounds. And with all these patterns, they're really easy to understand because we relate them to things or things that people would know, like a flag. You guys know how a flag looks, even if you haven't traded before. Double top, you know what a mountain looks like. Yeah, so it just looks like a mountain with almost equal double tops. You see price comes up, comes down, and comes back up to about the same point, creating resistance up there, showing that we have resistance, showing that we have a double top. If you see a double top, it comes and rejects off of that double top again, you might be to the downside. And then here I would talk about double bottom before cup and handle, but unless you guys are buffoons, you should absolutely know what a double top is. To be fair, it's literally just double top, just flipped over, right? So I think you guys can understand that. All right, Emmanuel, you got the next one.
All right, so the next is the cup and handle. Cup and handle is a bullish continuation pattern that looks like a cup and a handle. It's pretty simple. Usually it's formed after an uptrend, and typically it signals further movement upwards. How we would trade it is we would get in when the price breaks above the handle's resistance. So here you guys could see the cup formation after, a bullish trend. We see this pullback, creates a cup formation, nice and round, and then we see this handle, which looks like what we would call earlier the bullish flag. Once we see that and it breaks above the resistance line, it's usually a strong breakout, and we want to get in almost right here to make sure we can maximize our profits. I think it's pretty simple.
Yep.
And then there's the opposite as well, I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. Yeah. Same thing, but to the downside.
Exactly, yeah. So in conclusion, the key takeaways is recognizing patterns is crucial for day traders. When you're able to memorize these and you're able to see these, like even as like a second thought, like you don't even have to think about it. It's just kind of like inside your head. It makes it so much easier to trade and to know when to hop in and when to get out. Each pattern also has specific entry and exit strategies, which can make it better to maximize profits and lower, the loss of any money that you're putting into your options. And practice and experience will definitely help refine your trading decisions. Like I said earlier, eventually it becomes second nature, and you're able to just see these through and act without having to think about it too much. And then final thoughts, using these patterns in conjunction with other technical indicators for better accuracy. That's just honestly like it'll come to you and it'll just make trading a lot easier. Is there anything Sam would like to say?
Yeah, so I guess just to wrap it up, these are some easy patterns that everyone should know. I think if you are a day trader, whatever level you're at, you should at least know some of these simple patterns. They're really easy to identify, and they just go into support and resistance levels, and they often play out how they go. This is just one of the things that you can use in your trading strategy so that you know how to enter trades, when to enter. This is just one of the indicators that you can use for yourself. But if you know about these patterns and other support and resistance levels as well as patterns, you can make decisions a lot quicker. So, for example, me and Emmanuel make super quick decisions when we see something that looks like double top or something small, and then we look at the other things. Because if you spend too much time on one thing, then you forget about the other things. However, yeah, these are just little bite-sized stuff, and this can really help you as a beginner trader, or even if you're a more experienced trader, with your entries and longer in the trade.
All right. So that'll be it for today's class. After this, I will be going back to today's chart. And if anybody wants to stay and watch, I'll be showing basically the same patterns that we were talking about, but in today's market. So you guys can see how it looks in the real chart on a day-to-day basis. But thank you for joining, everyone. And for those who are leaving, hope you guys have a great afternoon.
All right, sweet. Thank you.
All right, everyone. So here we can see a very clear head and shoulders in today's market on the SPY 500. As you guys can see right here, this is the first shoulder. It's lower than the second one, which is considered the head, second buy up. Then we have another sell-off with the third buy up, which is lower than the head, considering this the shoulder. And as you guys can see here, it just significantly drops right afterwards. Also, it may not be as clear, but right here we do have somewhat of a bullish flag. Let me label it for you guys. So starting up here, you guys can see price movement has like this downwards kind of like sloped flag right here after a rise up, and then boom, we see a break resistance to the second one right up here. And honestly, if you really want to get like deep into it, this right here may not be the strongest, like the lowest, most angled bullish flag. However, it's still a flag that you're able to see and notice. And right at the end of it, once it does break that resistance, we see another strong buy up. I don't know, it's just things that you can kind of see, and it kind of makes it easier to like know when to get in, when to get out. It's super easy to see these as well. Like I barely even looked at this chart for more than like 10 seconds to be able to see that.
Yeah. Yeah, like he said, guys, these things are super easy to spot, and we make it easy for you, and people who created these have made it easy for you. Like Head and Shoulders. If you tell me you don't know what Head and Shoulders are, I think you're stupid, to be honest. Think about looking at a person. What do they have? Head and shoulders. What does this look like? Head and shoulders, right? So if you're looking at a flag, what does it look like? A flag. And of course, it takes some time to be able to read a chart and understand the chart. So be patient with yourself, but when you're able to read the chart quickly, and look how quick Emmanuel did it. He just looked at the chart and said, oh, here's a flag. It broke up. Here's a horizontal channel. It broke up. So essentially, if you're good at that, in the real trading day, you'll be able to make those quick decisions and make money. So that's where it comes from.
Yeah, and like if you guys want to see one last one, we can see very clear bearish flags right here. Look, so we have this drop down, then we have kind of this little mini buy up right here, little bearish flag, and then boom, another drop. Then right after this drop, what do we have again? Let's say like from right here, another bearish buy up right here. Bearish flag, boom, another drop. Easy to spot, barely even have to try. It's just like it's almost in your face too, like boom, another third one, up, back down. And then we start to see a break trend and create this head and shoulders that we talked about earlier. And after the head and shoulders, we see an even greater drop. So this whole day, honestly, like if you were to like go back and look at it, it's almost like it was clear as day that it was going to drop the whole day. Yep. So yeah, guys, some things that we can start to look at, maybe things that you guys might start to want to look at as well in practice, so that you guys can refine your training and eventually just be able to do this by yourselves without even having to think about it twice.
Exactly.
But without further ado, that's going to be it for today's market and like finding these indicators. But yeah, I hope you guys do have a good rest of your night. All right, I'll see you guys.
See you guys.